Hi guys, my name is Maddie.
And I'm Nico.
And welcome to our channel. Today is day one of our van build, which means we need to prep the inside of the van so it's ready for the rest of the build. We're going to be sanding down some of the scrapes inside of the van because the floor is a little bit scraped up. We're gonna prime the floor and then paint it so that way everything is sealed and won't get rusty if we ever have a spill or any moisture inside of the van. The next step is to prime and paint the floor of the van. We just need to go over all the places where the metal is exposed so that way it's protected. So now we have to wait for the primer to dry, and that could take 5 hours or more. So that will conclude our day today.
Day 2 of painting the van. We got some primer down. Now we're gonna do another coat of paint. We might do another one. We'll see what happens.
Today we have a friend helping us. What do you think, Gordy? This is Gordita. Alright guys, today we are getting on top of the van and we're gonna take some of the rust off of our bumpy roof.
And you see on the side rails, we got some dents. So we take this guy, scrape it down to bare metal, and then we'll be painting it. Put a little rust dissolver on the bare metal just to clean it up a little bit more. I'm gonna rinse it off now and then get ready to prime. Last step before painting is going to be putting isopropyl alcohol all over the bare metal, get it ready for primer. The next step is going to be primering. I've got this Rustoleum clean primer. And we're going to just brush it on.
Today is another day of our van build. We are going to be installing our roof rack today. Shouldn't be too difficult of a task. It's mainly just screwing things in. So let's get started. We are installing a Flatline Van Co roof rack today. First step is
Step 2 is going to be lining up the holes of the van in this little rubber gasket. Next you take your footer, which sits on the van. You want to line up those holes again. Next you're going to take this bolt with a little rubber washer on the bottom and feed it through. Make sure you're not cross-threading. Once you know you're not cross-threaded, tighten it down. You might find when you're doing this, the bolt holes down inside don't line up with this hole here. So if I went like this, it would definitely be cross-threaded because it's going in at an angle. So what I did for this one here is I just took like a little drill bit and I held it against one side and just kind of gently went like this until it shaved off enough to where you can put your bolt down in straight. Next step is attaching the actual roof rail. You're going to use one of these bolts. I've got my whole rail on. Now I just need to attach the back plate via these 4 holes. It mounts on the backhand side. Okay, so now that I have both railings on, it's time to put on the crossbars. You just kind of line it up with this hole right here. I'm going to put them all on one side, and then I'm going to go up on the ladder on the other side, tighten everything down, and then we should be good to go. The last step of setting up this roof rack is going to be sealing it, and the first step of that is going to be cleaning all the points. Now that I've washed this and it's all clean and dry, I'm going to put some lap sealant on. It's the same stuff we used for the... It worked great for that, so no reason to worry that it won't work for this. After putting a bead down, I'm just going to wipe my finger across, smooth it out. And then lastly, I'm going to put some right over this bolt. So it oozes over.
Hello from the future. Welcome to our lessons learned section. We will be adding this to the end of all of our build videos, so that way we can go over some of the things that worked, that didn't work during our build, and as well as the things that are working and are not working now after we've been living on the road for a few months. Without further ado, let's go over a couple of the lessons learned for this video.
First lesson. As you saw, we did some rust removal up top. One thing that worked really well to remove rust was a Dremel with a small little, has a sanding bit that you can get. That works super well on the little corners and curves of all the roof lines, especially because ours is dented and weird, so it definitely helped to have that.
Lesson 2 is that we should have probably put more coats of paint. So I believe we just did 1 coat of primer and 1 coat of paint, when really it is a better decision to probably do 2 or even 3 coats of paint after priming. The reason we know this is because our roof has rusted again in some of the same spots where we found rust to begin with. Part of that is because our roof is dented, so water does sit on top of the roof. If you have bought a new van or just a van that does not have a dented roof, you probably won't run into this as so much of an issue, but still, if you are removing any rust, I suggest doing multiple coats of paint. I think that would fix our current problem.
As for the floor that we did, I mean, obviously we can't see it anymore because it's covered in flooring, but I think we did a pretty good job on that, and that should be fine.
Should be fine, hopefully.
Lesson number 3. If you're installing a Flatline Van Co roof rack, just follow the steps. It's pretty straightforward, nothing to note on that. But if you are not going to have a roof rack of any sorts, it's still a good idea to, you don't have to pry up those mounting spots that I showed, but instead of prying them up, you should still put silicone or maybe some lap sealant around those, because from what I've read on forums and Facebook and stuff, those can be potential leak points. All those little points are sealed by is actually the body paint. So if there's any chip in the paint, anything like that, water can get in, and you don't want water to get in. So
you really don't.
There are a couple more points up there that I didn't pop off to put the roof rack in, and I did seal those up. So seal up all the points that you don't use.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We will be coming out with new videos hopefully every week. If not every week, we will do it every other week. I'm saying that so we hold ourselves to it.
Keep us accountable,
Keep
guys.
us accountable.
If you guys have any questions about anything we just did, anything we showed, anything we said, just comment down below. We'll do our best to respond to everything.
We are now living in our van on the road, and we will also be sharing a little bit of what we've been up to. So if you want a sneak peek of that, here it is.